Oh, the monotony of the road. Can you ever fall asleep on a bike? Let's talk about it inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're enjoying the channel and the series of videos. Please like, share, subscribe, leave loads of comments below. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. So, in this amazing video, I am talking about riding your bike and feeling so tired that you actually fall asleep. Now, obviously, this is quite a common thing for anybody driving a car or, a truck or whatever. So that's why, all over the world there's a big play for drivers or riders to, take lots of breaks when they're driving, get some rest, all that kind of stuff. But I was having a conversation late last night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, with a colleague of mine, and we were talking about, okay, would you ever fall asleep on a bike? And I kind of said, well, I've never heard of it. Now, obviously, somebody passing out, blacking out on a bike, yeah, I've heard of that, but that's more medical condition. That's not a tiredness thing. But actually riding on a bike, I've never heard of it. Now, is it possible? Of course it is. Is somebody so tired that they would actually fall asleep? Possibly, but I think that the difference between on a bike as opposed to being inside a car or a lorry or whatever, fundamentally it's not very comfortable. So you're open to the elements, so you have that kind of thing that is affecting you. Also on the bike, you're a lot more in tune with the environment and you're engaged with the riding process, as opposed to in a car you're less engaged with it because you're more comfortable, you're more enclosed, you're listening to the radio, those bad people out there messing around with their phones and all that kind of stuff, not really paying attention. So I can see that within a closed space, you haven't got much fresh air coming in, maybe the oxygen levels are dropping a little bit and all that kind of stuff, and you've just been awake for too long, that you can fall asleep. But on a bike, I just can't see it. I can't see it happening. Now, the other question was, okay, maybe not for a rider, but what about for a pillion? Could they fall asleep? And I think they could. I've got a feeling pillions are a real risk on long journeys. Now, again, I think it all depends on the time of year, and also depends on the comfort level of the pillion, what sort of bike they're on, and how tired they are, or how susceptible they are to it in any way, and how engaged they are with the riding process as well. I've got a feeling that if you're on a big tourer and a big comfortable seat and a big armchair like pillion seat, like say some of the Harley's big CVOs have, for example, then I think there's a risk. Now, and once again, I can't remember ever hearing about this. I'm sure people have nodded off. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I know I've heard stories of people who've had little sleeps on the backs of bikes. But I've never heard of somebody falling asleep on a bike, whether a rider or a pillion, and having, coming off the bike and falling off. Now, I could be wrong, but here's the question for you guys, right? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible to be riding your bike and fall asleep? Now, there's no doubt, on certain times I've been dog tired on my bike. Absolutely dog tired. When I've done a few endurance rides in the past, been absolutely tired. But it's never come to the point where I'd actually fall asleep. I'm pretty sure. I've been so tired that I could, when I got off the bike, I could hardly stand. But it's almost like I was wired. I was on a higher level of consciousness just to keep me on that bike. But that's me as a rider. I'm not so sure as a pillion you would have that higher level of engagement. but I could be wrong. So here's to you. If you've ever heard of this, or you've come across it, or you heard of friends or whatever, let me know. Let us know in the comments. You know, have you ever been so tired that you've almost fell asleep, or you have fallen asleep momentarily, you got a pillion on the back, they've fallen asleep, you've had to smack them on the thigh and say, oi, wake up. I'm sure somewhere I've heard of that happening. I'm sure of it. But I don't know. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you think. And also, what kind of bike was it on? Because I think that the only time this is really going to happen is if you're on a really big, comfortable touring bike. Let's say a big Harley or a Honda Goldwing or something like that. You know the kind of bikes I'm on about. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting discussion. So I can't really think that would ever happen, but I could be wrong, of course. I could be wrong. Right, anyway, please like, share, subscribe, leave loads of comments below. Check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com. And I'll catch you on the next video. Coming very, very soon. I'm going to go on a few twisties now and see where I end up. Ta-da now.